This one I have been sitting on since 10th grade in high school. Let me tell you. Okay, the first topic I want to talk about is Shakespeare, because this was kind of like the main thing that made me think about all this stuff, and, well, not really made me think about it, but just it was like my first introduction to this kind of thing. Okay, so, in Shakespearean times, things are socially a lot more different than they are now, and Shakespeare was woke and modern and funny and cool, I guess, and that's cool, but he definitely did understand that the patriarchy existed, and he did, since socially he was just writing about the way things were socially then, there was all those discrepancies about, like, if this woman has had sex, she's a bad person, she should not be wed to you, this and that, this and that. But one thing that always just completely, I just don't get it. I don't get it. Okay, so it was a bad thing, and a woman was considered less than if she had had sexual interactions before, right? Right. So, I don't know if they were just this dumb in, like, the 1700s and, like, just the ancient times before, but, like, you wouldn't care if a man had sex with a woman. You wouldn't care if a man had multiple partners before. But that's the thing, like, who did you think they were sleeping with? How dare you scorn women for having sex, but praise the man who has sex. Oh, I think this came about partially because the whole the T.I. thing about him, like, if you don't know the T.I. situation, T.I., I think he was a rapper or something, I don't know anything about him, but he takes his daughter, 18-year-old daughter now, to the gynecologist to have her checked to see if she is still a virgin, to see if she is still a virgin, right? And apparently there's different ways. Like, since I'm not a female, I wasn't really aware of all this. I just knew that, like, that does imply typically that you lost your virginity, but I did hear too before that could also be broken in other ways. And so, like, that people are like horseback riding, stretching, strenuous exercise, like, there's different ways to break that. And he takes her to the gynecologist, makes her sign the form to say that, like, yes, I am willing to disclose this information with this person, and makes her give up that right to sign and have the doctor tell him to what he finds, to test her to see if she was a virgin. And so, but he praises his 14-year-old son. He says that he has had sexual interactions, and he praises his son for that. So that's the thing that I don't get. I'm like, if you guys are praising men for having sex, who do you think they're having sex with? Y'all really out here being against homosexuality, and so I'm pretty sure you all are writing on the fact that they're having sex with women, so why are you looking at women like they're the bad guy? Why? I don't know. I'm like, how were people this crazy sexist? And don't get me wrong, people are still sexist now. People are still this sexist now. Because, I mean, there's the guy, he's testing his daughter and making her relinquish the right to disclosing that information, and praising his son for hoeing. Like, I'm like, come on. How can you be this unjust, for starters? How can you be this crazy to not see how stupid you are? Like, there was this one post that I saw once, and it was, if you find a woman to be less appealing after you have slept with her, take a look at your hands, right? Because, like, now that she's dirty, like, it's your hands that got her dirty, basically. And so, like, that's the thing that it just frustrated me so much before, because I'm like, why is she just unmarriable now because she has had sex? But this guy, he has talked about his sexual interactions time and time again, and he hasn't had a problem, and everyone thinks he's so cool, and he's just like this cool, suave guy who gets all the ladies. Like, yes, he gets the ladies, but then why are you looking at ladies bad for falling for it? You should also think that the guy is a bad guy for coercing or preying on these women, for being a incubus, making these women feel all these lustful desires. You should scorn the guy too for making a woman want to have all this sex with them. How are people this crazy? How are people this dumb? Like, what did people expect? Who do you expect them to be sleeping with? That's the thing that bothers me the most, because I'm like, I can't process what goes through that person's mind. They're having sex, good for them, but who do you expect them to be having sex with? Like, it's women, so why are you looking at women bad? It's the dumbest thing. It's like, how did you Just completely, like, you're like, you acknowledge that they're having sex, but you forget the fact that it's with women. And so, like, somehow there's like this weird divide for the sexism to seep in and be like, yes, women are bad guys, but not the guy who's having sex with them. They're having sex, and that's super cool, that's rad of him, but with women, that's bad. They're having sex. Like, that's the dumbest thing. It's crazy. It's crazy to me. It's super dumb. I just don't get it. I don't get what the thought process was. Like, how do you skip those steps? It's the dumbest thing. So, I don't know. Reading Shakespeare, that always bothered me. Because I'm like, who do these people think they're having sex with? Like, come on. It's not a hard process to think through. Come on. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I guess that's my topic for now. But keep that in mind. I guess. Well, I don't know. I don't think you have to keep that in mind now. But like, think about that. I guess if you meet someone and you're like, yes, they're cool for having sex, but she's a hoe for having a lot of sex. Like, no. Think about how you're both bad and they're both lame, or just stop being stupid and stop judging them for that. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. I don't know.